Bartering is a gameplay mechanic introduced in the 1.16 Nether updates that allows players to exchange gold ingots for various items with piglins. In my last video, I made 100 farms, all in one hardcore world. One of the farms made was this piglin bartering farm. A humble design with a dispenser clock and only one piglin. However, for a project I'm working on, I need an excess of materials, mostly obsidian. I need obsidian, and a lot of it. You see, I've got this project coming up that requires me to have hundreds of beacons, I mean hundreds. And you know, I was thinking, I already have a gold farm, why not just make a bartering farm right next to it? Or better yet, make a bartering farm out of it. So today, I'm going to be making a fully automatic piglin bartering farm, fit with item sorters and shulker box loaders, getting me around 73,000 barter drops an hour. So, when an adult piglin picks up nearby gold ingots, it tosses a random item onto the ground. This random item is controlled by the loot table, where an item is selected by a predetermined chance, sometimes with a random quantity assigned. Whilst many of these drops are useless to me, some are very, very important, with many materials such as quartz and soul sand only being renewable via bartering. Having access to all of these materials and items, especially the non-renewables, will make my life so much easier, with less time being spent on gathering materials such as quartz and blackstone, unobtainable any other way. Now this farm was designed by the very Potato Noir themselves, and is intended as an add-on for their gold farm. Now this bartering farm had a few key differences over most on the market. When browsing the archive, there were multiple extremely fast bartering stations available, many using around 256 piglins while Noir's only uses 23. Now this farm was designed to work in coherence with Noir's gold farm. However, for those who watched my last video, I didn't build Noir's gold farm. I built Dashpum's 225,000 drops now gold farm. So while the majority of the bartering setup is the same, I did have to make some tweaks to work with both the increased drops and the setup's proximity to the spawning platforms. Now when I was beginning the resource gathering, I thankfully had heaps and heaps of resources already in the shulker monster inside my base. Man, I really need a storage system. Now after tweaking the design to accommodate for the bigger gold farm, and fixing up some of the redstone, I was ready to start building. Actually, building the farm went surprisingly easy. With Lightmatica's easy place and just building layer by layer, I powered through building the bartering station and was very quickly done, ready to AFK and gain vast amounts of resources. Now on a side note, if me using easy place or any of Lightmatica's other functions upsets you or you think it's cheaty, I just don't really care. At the end of the day, it's my hardcore world, and as long as I'm not going into creative or giving myself items, I don't think it really matters. Now, one interesting aspect of this farm is that it gives me the ability to either store the gold or barter it away. All it takes is one flick of a lever and the gold ingots will be either crafted into blocks and sent to a shulker box loader, or will be dropped to the piglins for trading. This option is actually the main one that set this bartering station apart from all others for me. With the bartering farm done, the fun was over, and it was time to capture 23 piglins, equip them with pumpkins, and transport them into the farm. Now, I feel like there had to be a better way of doing this, especially since it took 3 hours to get a measly 23 piglins. I eventually found a good rhythm though, and using a furnace minecart, pushed them into a spot where I can easily punch them into the bartering chamber. And with that, I had made the most overpowered bartering farm. Now it isn't the fastest, it doesn't produce the most drops, but having a bartering station directly attached to my gold farm, enabling both gold storage and a bartering system, it sounds pretty overpowered to me. All that was left was to AFK overnight, come back in the morning and see what drops I'd gained over my typical 12-hour slumbers. So, I ran the farm all night, 1 AM to 9 AM. I woke up, walked to my PC, and fully expected to have shulkers full of shulkers, of blackstone and string and obsidian. What I came back to was well over 1,000 levels, and absolutely nothing else. At some point throughout the night, the sand running the piston clock either despawned or literally one of a million other things happened. Meaning I got nothing from the AFK session other than several hundred levels. However, I replaced the sand and set up to AFK again, doing some yard work in the process. Whoever said YouTubers don't go outside? However, I came back to boxes upon boxes of amazing resources. I was so impressed by this bartering station, and it's not an understatement to say it's got to be the best farm I've made to date, getting me an insane amount of resources from just a few hours of AFKing. Now I'm aware this video has been a shorter one, but I like to occasionally do smaller projects rather than constantly getting overpowered or building 100 different farms. Projects like this are how I pass my downtime during mega projects, just like the one I'm currently working on. I hope the shorter content can appeal to at least some people. However, I'd like to thank you all for your continued support. It's extremely appreciated, and it's what continues me doing this. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave any suggestions you may have in the comments below. And with that, I'll see you on the next one.